Welcome back. Conservative columnist Ann Coulter has a gift for invective. She also has a gift for irreverence. Both are on display in her new book, Adios, America, the left's plan to turn our country into a third world hellhole. In my opinion, she also has a gift for accuracy. It may not be politically correct to say so, and you may believe that yesterday's federal court ruling has derailed President Obama's executive amnesty, but the fact is this administration has done nothing to stem the flow of illegals into our nation. Last night, Ms. Coulter appeared on the new cable network Fusion, which, when you stop and think about it, is a good one-word description of what open borders advocates want to see: a dissolution of the international boundary separating the U.S. and Mexico, essentially a fusion. At any rate, Ann took issue with host Jorge Ramos and his definition of diversity.
The point is, before Teddy Kennedy's 1965 Immigration Act, there was more diversity in immigration. Diversity should mean we take an equal number from, all the countries in the world. I think that would be a stupid policy, but that would at least be diversity. Still talking. That's not what we're doing now. We are taking 30% of all legal immigrants from Mexico, 60% of all illegal immigrants from Mexico. Instead of taking 5% or more from 7 different countries, which was the case before 1965,
mostly European countries that you want.
We're taking them all from Mexico. Well, okay, but
so your problem is with Mexicans, but not with Europeans.
No, you said what's the matter with diversity. I'm telling you it's not diversity. I'm just getting our facts straight.
And part of getting the facts straight is accurately describing what has happened with the flood of these illegals who make no effort to assimilate, but instead expect Americans to adapt to their culture. Instead of a melting pot, we have a bubbling cauldron of contention.
Why do you think that the Mexicans who fled here want to recreate Mexico here? No, it helps your power because your media desirability goes up a lot. But you're not speaking for the immigrants who came here from Mexico. They left Mexico. They came to
it's an economic situation. It's simply an economic situation. They come here because there are thousands of American companies who hire them, and because there are millions of Americans, including you, who benefit from their work.
It's more than economic because you have something like 2.4 trillion people in the world living on like $2 a year. They'd all like to come here. Mexico happens to be within walking distance. So you're the one who's discriminating against the poor Bangladeshis who would love to come here, but they can't walk across the border. Why should we discriminate against them?
So let me just say this at the end.
It is not diversity. It is just changing our culture without checking with the American people into Mexico.
A friendly amendment to Ann's final comment there. What she meant was that the preponderance of illegals are intent on changing the U.S. into Mexico, not embracing American culture, but stubbornly insisting on their own language and their own culture. But what was most telling about last night's encounter was when Ms. Coulter asked Senor Ramos how much of the Mexican population the U.S. should take in. And all he could offer, you heard a variation on it a second ago, was that tepid response that it's an economic situation. Yes, it is. And with 90 million Americans out of work, there's no need to import illegally any more cheap labor. That's the way I see it. You heard what's on my mind. Now let's hear what you are saying via social media. Our first comment comes from Paul, and on his subject line, he writes, "Poor Josh." He's referring to White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest, writing, "Imagine a job which included lying to the press on behalf of the president. Sheesh. 60 coalition partners. Where are they, Mr. Earnest? Do you define a partner as someone who gave some money for the cause? Let's see that list." One thing's for sure, it's tough to be the presidential press secretary, especially for this administration. Our next comment comes from Dale, who recently told us about an event that was held in Chicago. He writes, "I was at a great event this weekend. The Walsh Freedom Gathering had approximately 800 attendees and was a great success. The theme of this event, honoring our men and women in blue, police officers from all over the Chicago area. I also spread the word about your show at its new time and urged many fellow conservatives to avail themselves of Newsmax TV." Thanks a bunch, Dale. Finally, we heard from Rich, who was very succinct with his comment. "Hey, JD, you guys at Newsmax need to know how beneficial and appreciated your work is." Thanks a bunch, Rich, and thanks for watching. See you tomorrow night. Stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.